Lads, welcome back to Plastic Paddy's podcast. Cave Me the Vulture to you all. Thank you so much for joining me. This is episode 21 and it is the fourth and final instalment of my little lead up to Edinburgh Fringe mini-series. If you haven't listened already, I will link the previous ones here somewhere and down in the description. But today I am interviewing the wonderful Emma Copland. She is a director and she's going to be talking to me all about the show that she's directing. It's called Slippery When Wet. It's a one-woman show play written by Leanne Devlin. So yeah, I hope you enjoy the chat. Emma Copland, how are you?
Hi, I'm good, thank you. Thank you for
Plastic Paddy's podcast.
Oh, thank you for having me. It's very exciting.
I'm very excited to have you here. We're going to jump right in to the juice, the good. You are directing a show.
Yes.
Tell us about it. What's it called?
It's called Slippery When Wet. And it was written by the lovely Leanne Devlin. It's about a girl who is working in a supermarket as a cleaner back in her hometown because she is not doing very well at her acting career. We've all been there. So she's there, and while she's there, her eyes glance across the room in the supermarket, and she sees this stunner of a human who she instantly falls in love with.
Oh.
And then she's got this dilemma: should she stay with this lovely human, or should she try and fight her way back into her acting career? So yeah, it's about that, and it's funny and a little bit dirty and a little bit sweary and all the fun stuff.
We love a little bit dirty and a little bit sweary. That sounds like my kind of play. So where can we see it? Where's it going to be on?
Well, it's on at Barron's Court Theatre on the 22nd. Opens on the 22nd of August and finishes on the 2nd of September. And we've just found out we are also going to Dublin Fringe.
Woohoo! Dublin Fringe!
No,
So
I'm super excited about that as well. And that's in the second week of September, so almost straight after.
Nice.
Dublin Fringe.
So there's no sort of respite in between.
Not really.
Huge congratulations, Dublin Fringe. That's really exciting. So am I allowed to tell people that you have?
Yeah.
So I first met Emma at an Irish Creative Collective night here where we're actually currently filming, which is the Irish Cultural Centre in Hammersmith, large up yourselves. And you gave me a little sneak. You told me that I was going to Dublin, didn't you? And she was like, "You can't tell anyone. I'm really excited to go to Dublin Fringe." So I've known her for a long time. I've got a little exclusive, guys, before you. But yeah, that's really exciting. Are you nervous, excited, both?
Yeah, really excited actually. A tiny bit nervous, but more that we're such a small team, and so it's making sure that, and like I was telling you earlier, we've got such a short rehearsal period, so it's really getting all those ducks in a row before we go into rehearsal, so that it's just rehearsal and then straight to Fringe, and yeah, it's just going to keep rolling, hopefully.
Yeah.
And so it's really about being a bit of a geek at the minute and getting all those things lined up and ready to go, so that when we're in doing the fun stuff, it just happens.
It can all just,
worry too much about it.
Amazing. And is it your first time at the Fringe?
It is. First time Dublin Fringe.
So are you kind of aware of what it all entails and how it's...
Honestly, no.
Going in dry, guys.
I'm like, I'm just gonna, it'll be fine, right?
Yeah.
The lovely thing about Fringe generally is that people just pitch in. So if you're there and you need something, or somebody else is there and they need something, like there's going to be a bit of back and forth all about. And Leanne is really taking care of the Dublin side of things at the minute because she's currently in Belfast rehearsing for a different play that's also going to Dublin Fringe.
Nice.
She's going to be a busy person.
She's smashing it. Go Leanne.
And then so she's kind of sorting the Dublin Fringe side of stuff while I'm working on bits of Barron's Court. So yeah.
Nice. Did you live in London?
I do, yeah.
Nice. Okay. So I believe you told me this as well. Did you live in Belfast for like years and years?
Yeah. So I went to uni in Belfast at Queen's, and that's where I met my husband, and that's where I started working in the arts and in theatre there. So I was there for a long time, and then I came over to London in 2015, 2016.
Okay, nice. But you have a little. We've got that. Where in Scotland are you from?
I'm from Ayrshire, so the southwest.
Yeah. Do you ever have notions about moving back?
I always have notions about moving. I think I was born with it 2 feet.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, it took me a long time to get my husband out of Ireland.
He's Irish, your husband.
Yeah. But so I don't know. I was just talking earlier about maybe we go back, maybe we go to Scotland for a bit, maybe we stay here. Who knows? But like
Wherever the wind takes you.
absolutely.
Oh, I love that. That's exciting. So what is for anybody listening or watching that doesn't know, what is the Fringe? What does it entail, and how do you get into it? How do you get your play or your piece of work into Dublin Fringe?
Oh, tricky. So the Fringe, I guess Dublin Fringe is like Edinburgh Fringe is like Camden Fringe, is like Brighton Fringe. They are lots of little festivals, or quite big festivals actually now, that help little and small productions gain a foothold, get some coverage from the media, get some practice, get some audience, and build their rep so that they can try to sell their shows to bigger playhouses and bigger producers to really keep them going. Most people lose money on fringes. That's just the way it works. Particularly because the arts councils don't often fund a lot of fringe theatre, fringe festivals particularly. So if you want to take shows to Edinburgh, Arts Council England don't fund those unless that's part of a bigger tour. So you've got to be really careful with your planning. Although they do fund other fringe festivals, some other fringe festivals. So yeah, it's really about making connections, refining your work, and trying to sell it to the next big company or a big producer that wants to take it on.
And is there like an application process?
There is, There's, in fact, you can apply to lots of the fringe venues through a particular portal that then you can market your work through those fringe festivals through their publicity. They often have little booklets that you do, or they have big push outs for their PR and things like that. So you can be part of those, and that's what really helps the small shows get on bigger platforms. So you apply, and really you have to have your venue on site and your show ready to go, and then you apply. And if you haven't got those things, then you really quickly get to work to make sure you've got those things ready for the PR to happen.
So it can all kind of feel like it's coming together really last minute, and it's all as well.
Yeah,
that's exciting though. Yeah, scary, I would imagine, but
it is for you. You know, just go for it.
Yeah, amazing. So have you got your venue at Dublin Fringe? Are you at the same venue every night?
Yes, we are at the same venue every night, and I can't remember. I think it's called the Pearson Centre.
Nice.
It's a very small venue, which is similar to Barons Court actually, which is really good for us because it means that our transfer is going to be much more straightforward. And yeah, so it should be a really lovely space to work in.
I'll get all the links, guys, from Emma, and everything will be like linked down below. Is there like linked to tickets and stuff?
Yes.
Yeah, that will all be down below. So please do, if you're off to, Dublin Fringe this year, check them out for sure. So, I believe Slippery When Wet, I love that name, I think it's class. It's a one woman show, is that right?
It is, yeah.
So in terms of like the whole scenario that you're in now, trying to prep for a theatre show and prep for a fringe show, who else is involved? Is it literally just you and Leanne? Or have you got like a team? Like how is it working?
So at the minute, it's just me and Leanne.
That's amazing.
It's silly. Don't do it. Be more sensible than us. So we're self-producing at the minute because there's always the chicken and egg situation that if you need a producer, you have to pay a producer, and it's the producer that finds the money. So you have this like little catch-22. So we're self-producing for now, and the Barons Court, Sharon and Leo at the Barons Court have been so kind and supportive to us. They've been really helpful in supplying some good ideas for marketing and for supporting our upfront costs or like reducing our upfront costs and things like that, so that we're able to get things like rehearsal space for a little bit cheaper, and things like flyers out to the public without having to panic too much about how we're going to pay for that sort of thing. So they've been really supportive, and ultimately it's going to be quite a small team. I'm really looking for a designer because I think that would be really key for this. So that's my next and I've got a few people that I'm having meetings with and things like that as well.
Exciting. So is Slippery When Wet like a definite comedy? Is that the genre that you would put it under?
It's interesting because I was reading it again last night,
Mhm.
and it is comedy, it is funny, but it's got so much heart in it as well. And I think, well, because you sent me these questions ahead of time, it's like I was thinking speak and not thinking out about things. That the in order to get comedy, in order to laugh, we have to understand the joke. So to understand the joke, we have to be thinking, and to be thinking, we have to know what's happening on stage. And so there's always a comment in all comedy. There's always a comment on something. And so yeah, there is a point, there is some questions raised, and there is some challenges put forward in it as well. So yeah, it's funny. It's got a lot of heart, and
Yeah.
like a Swifty romance rom-com, I guess.
Yeah, yeah.
It's probably the closest
Nice.
thing.
And how do you, as the director, kind of pull, the heart? How do you pull it out? If it's just you and just Leanne, do you just have to make sure that you've got a really good dynamic so that you can give her your feedback? Because I would imagine it's tough if you're just one person to take kind of critique or to take advice without maybe feeling like it's a little bit personal.
Yeah.
So you just have to make sure that you guys have got a really good.
Yeah, I guess as well, especially because Leanne wrote it as well, and obviously there's a slight autobiographical element in it too. But yeah, Leanne has to trust me as her director. It's my job to make sure that she trusts me and to create that dynamic where she can take risks and do silly stuff and not feel like an idiot, and also for me to reassure her as a performer that everything she's doing is working or not working, and get her to buy that line where I go, no, that's not, rather than her going, I'm not sure if this is, or and to laugh loudly when things are funny, because we need that, right? But yeah, in terms of telling the story and getting the heart across, it's about finding the truth in it. Like, if an audience buy that she falls in love with this guy, and then whatever happens, then you'll have them hook, line, and sinker. So it's really making it truthful and honest, and with all comedy, playing the situation rather than playing the laugh. So that, it speaks for itself.
Amazing. So, it is a comedy, but there is, like in real life, there's kind of nuance to it. Are the audience there just to have a laugh, or is there kind of a bit of a deeper message that you maybe want them to walk away with? Or no, there's no wrong answer.
I think there is. I think there's always a message in the show, whether you like it or not. And I think if people come away asking questions of like what it means, what it means to, that sounds true, this is going to sound really awful, I'm sorry, but what it means to feel, or like to express your feelings.
Absolutely.
Because this character can be quite outrageous in the way that she thinks. She thinks and feels really big, but the way she acts is really small. And I think a lot of us do that. Well, of course we do that. We manage and mediate our behaviour for the situation that we're in. But I think particularly women, if we express big emotions in the world, we're seen as hysterical.
We're told to shrink ourselves, aren't we?
You're over the top, calm down, shush, why are you being so loud? Why are you being so expressive? Yeah, and I think like coming away from that and thinking, actually, is there a way that we can find a balance where expressing our emotions is particularly nice emotions? Like love and happiness and joy, like those things should be overwhelming and shared and like outwards, right? So yeah, I think that would be nice for people to come away with that going, yeah, it's okay to
feeling empowered to do that. I completely agree. I feel like there's a little bit of maybe shame around it. There's just like, I don't know, especially here and in Ireland, I noticed there's like an embarrassment around positive feelings. It's like we can let a little bit out, but not loud about it. So, that's amazing.
And to express when you've done well or somebody else has done well or something like, it's okay.
Can't take a compliment. Couldn't be getting notions. You couldn't ever think you're getting above your station, or actually you might be doing something quite well. No, don't have those kind of thoughts. So anything that promotes that is an A+ for me, especially like you said for women. I think it's really important. But yeah, that's brilliant. So you said the play follows the journey of an actor who's no longer an actor, Well, she is, but she's kind of struggling.
Hiatus,
a starving artist, and she becomes a cleaner at a local supermarket. Obviously, you are a director. Do you think is there any relatability there between you and the character on your journey of like becoming a director?
So much.
Yeah.
So much. And I'm sure everybody has had this, the amount of random jobs that you've had to do as a creative to keep your head above water. I was thinking about this. I've done so many strange things. And some of them would be like, oh, that's really cool. And some of them like, what am I doing?
Yeah.
I was an estate agent for 6 months. I can't express how strange that point in my life was. I was like, why? How have I got here? How is this?
That's so funny.
And I'm having no expertise in the situation at all. Like, I knew nothing about nothing.
Like,
and
this is the house. Do you want to buy it?
that was very much it, yeah. And I was dreadful at it. So I was like, well, the floor's a bit rubbish and the windows aren't
great. There's a leak there and it's probably going to cost you loads of money to do it up.
Dreadful. Yeah, so strange. And I think, I used to do like kids parties as well, like kids dance parties. So I'd come with loads of stuff like hula hoops or like Twizzler sticks and things like this, and like just whack some music on and entertain them for an hour or whatever. All sorts of weird things.
Was there ever times though when you were in the middle of something like that, like you've got a hula hoop on and kids like screaming at you, where you were just, in movies sometimes you see people just staring like hula hooping at did you ever feel like
every single day? Every single day. You're like, what is my life? Like, what is it? Yeah. Oh, waitress thing as well. Like, I remember cleaning food off table legs in a restaurant, having that feeling, being like, what is this?
What is my life?
Why am I on my hands and my knees at 25 years old?
It's so hard, isn't it? Guys, anyone who is in a creative field and you're doing these menial jobs right now, please keep going. I know it's really hard, but just I feel like everyone's kind of got to pay their dues. It's crappy, isn't it? But it's not easy, but keep going, please. So, you are now a director, though. How did you get started? How did that journey begin? How long have you been a director?
I started directing at university. I did the whole drama sock situation. Went to Dublin for an Irish Student Drama Festival. Took a couple of shows there. Did all of that sort of stuff, and then after uni, went to Hong Kong and did some directing for Dramatic English, who are a company that like teach English through drama, and I was working with primary school children, secondary school children, doing shows for them, and that was really fun. And then just came back and was back in Belfast doing freelance directing and assisting for companies like Kibosh, and did some work with Big Telly, and since then I've worked with Razor and Prime Cut, and most recently at the Lyric, which is really fun, assisting there as well. It was mostly just being really like, this is what I want to do.
Just having a vision and really just going for it.
And I was lucky enough that I was teaching dance on the side for some of that as well. So alongside the waitress thing and the fun stuff, like
25 other jobs.
Exactly, and like just keeping me afloat for a bit and being able to work the way through it. I think it's a bit easier in England because you don't have to be a company to work, whereas in Northern Ireland you have to have a company to get funding. It's just the way the funding structure works there. I was working for other companies then rather than creating my own company. So here, on my own project. So here it's been a bit different.
Do you feel like you've got maybe a little bit more freedom?
I do, but I also have much less support because I'm much more competition. London's massive and everybody's in the arts.
It is. It's tough, isn't it?
It is, but it's also really fun and really vibrant. And it's a huge community that you can tap into. And the Irish Creative Collective has been really supportive, and I've met loads of people through that. And I've also met loads of people through the Barons Court. They do a Sunday fix, which is like a scratch the last Sunday of every month. Writers can bring little bits and do little scratchy bits, and that was really good to like meet new people and try out things. So it's really just doing lots of little bits and keeping those balls in the air, lights in the air, whatever the metaphor is. Balls in the air. That's another place.
That's an entirely different play.
Stop.
Brilliant. So you mentioned there that you studied drama, did you say?
Yeah.
So what made you go to the route of directing, more directing? I'm assuming there's like acting involved when you're doing that at uni.
Yeah. I really liked acting. But through studying it, I realized I was more interested in the big picture, and that I didn't see things from the perspective of characters. I saw things from the perspective of the audience. And and I liked having the overall image of things. And also, being an actor is really scary. Like, much, much scarier, I think, than being a director.
To go to like emotional places and it's much tougher than
you have to expose your soul.
Yeah.
I'm not for that.
I don't want to do that. My soul's staying hidden, guys. Sorry.
Fully respect
Yeah,
actors because what they give is just incredible. And I think also that, like, I think for an actor, as an actor, if you are an actor, you have to be like, no, this is just me. This is how I roll. But to understand and respect what actors do and to be able to support them doing that, I think is a real privilege. And like that's partly why I like being a director.
That's so cool. So how did you and Leanne Devlin is the writer of Slippery When Wet, by the way, we've said that, but just a reminder. How did you guys meet and how did you end up being the director of Slippery When Wet? I love saying the name, Slippery When Wet, I just like it, it's such a good name.
So my husband is an actor and he was doing a show at Edinburgh Fringe last year.
Nice.
And so I went up there to see him and see his show. And whilst he was there, him and a few of the other Northern Irish companies that were over were supporting each other in promotion and stuff like that. And Leanne was in a play called Two Fingers Up, that was smashing it at the Fringe as well, and they were sort of doing cross promotion work.
Yeah.
And I went to see the show, and we spent a lot of time together with her and the rest of the company of Two Fingers Up. And yeah, it was just really interesting chatting with that company and those women and see what amazing stuff they were doing, and like, send me bits that you're working on, I'll send you bits that I'm working on, keep in touch, that sort of thing. And then after that, Leanne sent me a script in January this year, and it's like, here, what do you think of this? And as soon as I read it, I could hear her voice all the way through it, and it's like, oh my god, this is so you. This is absolutely the message that you want to be, or the story that you want to be telling the world. This is great, funny. Tell me more. And then I didn't hear anything back from her for ages. I was like, do you want to know? Or are you happy with this? Or what do you want from me? And then she said that she had the opportunity or she was going to apply for Dublin Fringe, and would I direct it for her? Like, yeah, great. And then the process of finding rehearsal space for Dublin Fringe, I was talking to Barnes Court, and they were like, we have a slot in August. And then the stars aligned, and we managed to get some space for performance at Barnes Court. That's so cool. So that's how we met, and it's really fun to work with her. I'm really excited to get in the room.
I'm going to come and see it. I can't wait. So, how do you typically, as a director, get involved with projects? Do you go out looking for people? Do people come to you with stuff, or is it a bit both?
It's all of the above, really. It's always hustling, really, a lot of the time. A lot of the things that I've got through doing scratch nights. So going to places like Flanger Theatre, or working with companies like Flanger Theatre, or doing bits, Bard bits at the Golden Goose, or doing Yellow Coat Theatre companies, Pass It On, meeting different creatives, different writers and actors, and then keeping in touch with them and saying, have you got projects on? Would you like me to work with you? Or them coming saying, hi, we're looking for directors or something. And doing, and it's really about word of mouth in that sense. There's lots of stuff that you apply for, and open hire, really good for trying to make that a bit more egalitarian in access to applying for things. But it's an industry that's well known for about who you know rather than what you know, and so maintaining those networks and connecting with people is really key. And unfortunately, so much of it comes down to your name being in the right person's head at the right time. And the only way that you can guarantee that is to just keep putting it there. Just keep saying, remember me, I'm here, I do this thing. And to keep putting on work and making noise. Other other bits for like assisting and things, I've often been like pestering other directors. Hi, I've seen your work. I'd love to work with you. And that's been really great because it's also connecting with people, but it's very much just finding. It sounds awful, but I was going to say reducing people to people, but it is that. I think a lot of our industry,
it's
like
who you know,
huge
isn't
stars,
it?
and we go, oh my god, I can't possibly email, Rufus Norris or whatever, but
it's just a person.
It's just a person. So like absolutely email them and say, hi Katie Mitchell, how you doing? Give me a job, and she'll probably ignore it, but at least your name is in their inbox now,
That's so true. And it only takes one yes, I feel like, you know what I mean? You might get 100 no's and it's hard. It's fucking hard to keep going when you're like getting the doors getting shut in your face, but it only takes one yes, guys, and then before you know it, you've got experience being a director or assisting a director or being, on stage in theatre, whatever it might be. So anyone listening, just keep sending those emails. That's actually really good advice.
I actually heard, this is a little bit of a segue, but I was talking to another director friend of mine a few months ago, and he was talking about a club of, but like a group of directors who had trained together in New York for a bit. And he said that they have a rejections club, which is on a Friday night at the bar, and you have to turn up, but you have to have physical evidence that you have had a rejection that week to be able to go to get into the club, to have a drink and commiserate with your fellow creators. And I think that's such a great idea because it gives you a reason to apply. Like, yes, you will get that rejection, but at least you will have people to drink with on the Friday.
That's really, really good idea. And also, I guess it kind of, nobody likes getting rejected. It is painful. And I suppose if you're just going home alone afterwards, it's like, you can really start to get in your own head about, imposter syndrome creeps in and you're like, why am I even doing it? So I feel like just going to the bar and kind of just being like, oh well, on to the next one. I feel like that's such a good idea.
Yeah,
you should start one here. You should start a director's rejection club. That's really fun. So when looking for projects or agreeing to work on a project, what are you looking for? What are the things that really like, I kind of want to get my teeth into this?
It's got to be something that I connect with personally. So if I don't have a reason, if I don't have something to say through it or something that I believe needs to be said within it, then it's fine. It's a gig, it's a job. Nobody's going to refuse work. But it might be the case of like, maybe there's somebody else that's better at this than me. And there's been quite often scripts that I've got that like, this project isn't for me, not because it's not great, but I think it needs somebody else's voice on it. So quite often, or more often than not, scripts that chime with me are things like are pieces written by women or marginalized genders, things that have an element of outsiderism in it, people or because I'm a person that's moved around a lot, so making communities in a new place or being a stranger is something that feels absolutely connects to me. Stories about love, loss, grief, like all of these will feel really universal for people, but there are things that in my life mean something and I think are important to other people. And so if I see it in a script or I see it in a play, I'm like, this is something that I can get behind and I can make a change of. And it's quite unusual for me to do comedy.
I was going to ask, what was it that drew you to my favourite slippery?
It's actually because I think it's the darkness in it.
Yeah.
I sound so bleak when I say things like that.
No, but everyone's got that side, and I feel like people don't like to acknowledge it really, but it's in there, guys. You might as well embrace it.
It's true, and you can't have funny without having the sad. Like you need to have those two polar opposites.
Yeah.
I saw this and I laughed out loud, and I was like, oh my god, this girl. I feel so bad for her. I really
Yeah,
There's
just
that,
pulled on you.
yeah, and it's like, oh, yeah, I can feel that. And it's about a young, the character's in her early 20s, and being somebody now in their 30s.
Same.
Too much but I felt like big sister love
Yeah,
for her,
I
and
get
I was
that,
like,
for sure.
oh no, I wish somebody could just scoop you up
Yeah.
and tell you that it's going to be
Gonna be
okay.
okay. Yeah, I
And
get that.
yeah, I thought that was something that was really, meant something. And it's sort of like just the kind of sisterhood alliance as well of that there's so many stories, there's so many moments in Slippery When Wet that I think loads and loads of, particularly women, but loads and loads of people will relate to on the dating scene and be like, yeah.
I've had that experience, especially women like us that are, like you say, we're in our 30s. Shut up, you lot, I don't care. We're still young and cool and hip and fab, okay? But it's bizarre seeing, like late teen and girls in their 20s going through all this stuff, knowing that we've been through it as well. And it's like, oh, I know what's coming for you. I know how you feel. Like, it's so relatable. So yeah, I can see there being that big, like you said, big sister element. That's like such a good way to put it. It's like, you're going to be okay. It's all right. Look, I'm here. I survived it all.
Yeah.
So that's really cool. There's I don't know if anybody will have seen, but was it this year at the BAFTAs just gone? The writer of Derry Girls did her like amazing like acceptance speech, and she said something online that I really love. And she said it's something like, in the specific there is always the universal. And that you just talking about the play then just like made me think of that line. It's like, even if you can't relate exactly to a story, there will always be something in there, because we're talking about human beings and human experiences, and there will always be something in there that somebody can relate to. So I feel like that's good that you said your typical, like, comedy isn't like your typical bag. You wouldn't really go, but obviously this story kind of pulled you in.
Yeah, and I think that in terms of that, like, specificity of it, is that it is like that's, I guess, what Leanne's writing does so well, is that there's no shying away from the mundane, or like the detailed grayness of the mundane and some of those elements, and being like, yes, this is my job, this is what I'm doing. And how do you go from like the real tininess of that, not a word, so I'm making a word, to those like big feelings, those big emotions that we all have. And how far will you go to get those big emotions and to get away from that dreariness that we have?
Absolutely. Apart from Slippery When Wet, what would be your dream project? Have you got like a dream actor that you'd like to work with, a dream writer? Shoot for the stars. Even if it seems ridiculous, who would you think would be your dream?
So many. I have so many.
There loads?
Like, I actually have a list on my phone of all the actors that I want to work with.
I think that's amazing. I feel like that's like manifesting it. Like,
oh, I really hope so.
Yeah.
Every time I'm like, here, this is.
I need to add someone else. It's just infinite, I suppose. The list could just go on forever, couldn't it? But go on, if you have to. Who's your dream?
So, like, okay, this sounds like a betrayal of the world, but I am a mad Shakespeare buff, and I would love to do a huge, extravagant Shakespeare play on the Olivier, and just make it like, massive and gorgeous. One of the very first shows that I saw as a kid, pantomime galore, but the first theatre show that I saw was Midsummer Night's Dream at the RSC.
Dreaming.
And I saw Oberon float on the stage. I saw him actually float on the stage. And obviously he did it was theatre magic, but I believe, and it was gorgeous. And I want to make that for other people. I want to make that for kids. And I want to show them what, theatre should be magic.
100%. I completely agree.
We have film for all like the nitty-gritty realism of it, but theatre should be magic. And whether that's in its surprise, or it's the way it makes you feel, or the actual technical elements of it, it can be magic. I'd really love to do that. I'd also like to do some Beckett at some point. Some really dark, twisty.
Nice.
Although the Beckett estate are not going to let women perform it anytime soon, but when that has overcome itself.
Yeah. When we smash the patriarchy. And have you got a dream actor?
I'd love to work with Maxine Peake. I think she's amazing.
She is unreal. I love her. She's amazing. Oh, good choice.
Yeah, I'd also really love to work with Danny Sapani. You know, he was
let's do this guy.
He played Jason in Medea, and I just thought he was incredible. And yeah, so
How do I spell Sapani?
just the way it sounds.
Like that?
Yeah.
Oh, Danny Sapani.
No,
I don't think I've ever seen him in anything. Was he amazing though?
Yeah, incredible.
Oh my god, how exciting.
Yeah. So if I could have Maxine Peake and Danny standing on stage, I would have you there.
You'd be a happy bunny. So you mentioned there about theatre and how you think it sort of should be magic. Do you prefer, is theatre like your bag? Is that what you like directing? Have you directed film before?
I haven't directed film before. I'd be really interested to learn about film.
Yeah.
But what I love about theatre is that it's bodies in a room, and like you can feel the audience respond. And there's some glorious article somewhere which I feel like I've mythologized.
Yeah.
Because we all do it so many times. But there is some evidence somewhere of hearts beating at the same time in an auditorium.
Oh my god, that's so poetic and amazing and ridiculous. That is the best thing I've ever heard.
Oh my god. So I just really believe in that, and I think how cool is it to have that ensemble feeling where all of us have this shared experience where we're watching something on stage and are like breathing with that character and like beating with each other and like magic.
Just put like unity. There's something about unity that just gets me right in the, stabs me in the heart. That is so, I can't believe you just said that. That was like a mic drop. That was that was amazing. So you would do film, but theatre will always have your heart.
I'm really interested in finding out a bit more about film and like learning about it. But I think I think in a more physical way than I think in a visual way. And
do you think when people are shooting films that, I suppose it's for the screen, isn't it? So you kind of everything has to think about how everything would look on screen.
Yeah. And the other thing that it sounds really counterintuitive as a director, but I love to change my mind, and you can't do that with film. Once you've shot a day's work, that's what you've got, and it's there for eternity. Whereas in theatre, and another lovely thing about theatre is that you change every night with the audience, because the audience are part of it. And I like the ephemeral element of it there.
That's so cool. I love it. So, I don't know if you're going to be able to tell us this, but after you worked your magic with Slippery When Wet, have you got anything else lined up that's exciting that you can tell us about?
Well, I'm writing a few bits and pieces. I write a little bit as well.
She's also a writer, guys, multifaceted.
The writing is in progress, though. But so there's a Christmas, or like an alternative Christmas show that's in development at the minute, which is about fairy on top of the Christmas tree.
Oh, yay! Oh, that's so nice.
Yeah, although I feel like Barbie stole my plot a little bit, so I might have to rejig it somewhat.
Yeah. Oh no, that's so annoying.
Can't believe that Hollywood would come up with a story
so
that
annoying.
So let me do that. But I think it's got puppets in it, and so I need to find some puppeteers and learn about that. I've never worked with puppets before, so I think that would be a really cool project.
Oh my god, that sounds amazing.
I'm doing that thing as well where you explore the idea of like a human being a tiny fairy, or a tiny fairy
playing with scale.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so cool. I'd imagine that's like another really amazing thing about theatre. Like you just said, it just made me think when you said you've never worked with puppets before, like the possibilities on stage, like puppets, that's kind of like its own art form in itself. Like that's its own thing. And I would imagine like just the challenge of that. You're now working with people that are controlling these things. As a director, that must be so cool. That's so exciting. I hope that comes to life. I would love to watch that.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Right, so you are a theatre girly at heart, but being a director, you must love film.
I really like TV.
Okay, fine. Okay,
I do like films as well though, but I think my husband's very much more the film buff.
yeah,
I like films for their like cinema, like what they can do on the screen. So like the cinematography, like artistry of it.
yeah,
So films that look beautiful are like Road to Perdition. Stunning. It's like a painting after painting after painting. The way that they use light, the DOP uses light in that, gorgeous. American Beauty as well, similar one that's just beautiful visuals all the way through. And yeah, so movies like that are gorgeously shot. Yeah, I'm all about that.
You're more of a TV girly.
Yeah, I don't have I'm not very good at long movies.
Are you a get bored halfway through and like?
Yeah, I kind of get the point. Like we went to see the new Batman, and it was like, yeah, I got it in like the first half.
He saves people,
and it looks cool.
Yeah,
like it's very film noir. Like I get it. I got it.
Yeah,
but I got it.
Yeah,
and I don't need the second.
With an hour left to go.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get that definitely. But if you were going to pick a top 3, we'll not do film then. If we'll do TV.
Okay.
Series or episodes or whatever you like your top 3. It's hard, I know.
Okay.
My top 5 list changes constantly.
So I really like trashy TV.
Oh, go on.
Okay, because I just watch it because it makes me feel great.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I feel like this is.
Are we going to shame her, guys? Oh. She's pulling all of her dirty laundry out.
Grey's Anatomy.
Do you know I've never watched Grey's Anatomy? And everybody that I know has watched it, and they're like, it's amazing. Is there not like 700 episodes?
Yeah,
crazy.
It's amazing.
Is it good though?
Well, it's just amazing that there's so much of it.
Yeah.
It's beautiful, formulaic TV. You feel safe.
Okay.
You know where it's going.
Yeah.
You know there's going to be a bit where you cry. You know where there's going to be a bit where you laugh, where your heart breaks, where you fall in love.
Yeah.
All of that is what I want from TV.
Is it like a comfort show? Like mine would be like Friends. I just keep going back to it. And it's one of these that you don't really have to follow. You can just pick it up at any kind of episode.
No, you do kind of have to follow it. Comfort in the sense that it's probably cathartic.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about if you watch it. But it's not so much of a feel good. Although my other one would be Schitt's Creek, which I absolutely love.
That's really funny.
And I'm just for joy and love, and to know that life is happy and joyous and wonderful. Yeah, that
I get that.
And my final one is Supernatural.
What's that?
Oh,
is it like a superpowers thing?
No, Jensen Ackles and the other guy, Jason. I can't remember his last name. Yeah, it's an old TV show that's been running or has ran, is finished now, ran for ages. It's about 2 brothers that kill like vampires and werewolves and stuff like that.
Oh, I love all that shit. That sounds great.
It hasn't aged very well. Like there's particularly early episodes are a little bit homophobic, a little bit racist, and there's not a whole, mostly just white men in it.
When was it made?
2000s.
Yeah, okay. That explains that.
But yeah, it's a Western, follows a Western format.
Okay.
So like 2 guys walk into town and then they meet a baddie and then they, but it's not a Western, it's contemporary, but it has that same sort of
that feel
to it.
Amazing.
And again, it's predictable. And I just feel faithless to it.
Yeah. She wants comfort, guys. So my next question was going to be your top 3 guilty pleasures, but would you say that?
Trashy TV is my guilty pleasure. Yeah, 100%.
All of her viewing is just guilty pleasure. That's it. Brilliant. Okay, so we're going to play a little game.
Okay.
So the name of your current play is, of course, Slippery When Wet.
Mm-hmm.
That everybody should go and see, by the way. And I will remind you that the links to tickets and all of the details will be below. So please do go and click on it. All of the dates, everything. But not only is it the name of your play, Slippery When Wet, it's also like a common sign that people might see out and about in the wild. So I've come up with, I haven't come up with them, I've just listed them, some other like common signs that people might see, and I would like you to come up with like a plot tagline for a play with these names.
Okay.
Is that okay?
Yeah. I'm not very good at thinking on the spot, but we'll give it a go.
We'll see what we can come up with.
We'll give it a go.
Right, first one is high voltage.
Okay, so this is a little bit cheating because you did give me news earlier and I can have a little thing. So on the bus on the way here, I was like, okay, so this is my pitch for a high voltage. Recently dumped Flint is shocked back to reality when he falls for two electricians at the same time. How will he choose between these two beautiful people? The two sparks of love. Sorry, I screwed my own things there. Or will he risk cinders to find something more than momentary fireworks?
That was really good.
Really
That was so good.
I love a pun. I'm a sucker for a pun.
If it ain't funny, it ain't funny, guys. Right. Next one is Beware the Dog.
Okay, so this isn't as funny, so I'm sorry in advance. Jemima's an investment banker in a high stress, high reward world, but yet another bout of heavy depression forces her to take some gardening leave. A friend persuades her to help with the floral deliveries to keep her busy until she gets back to work, but the big black dog of her return date keeps looming. Can Jemima, got her name, can Jemima shake the darkness of the city without giving up her job?
Oh my God! I want to watch Beware of the Dog. If you ever turn these into plays, could you at least credit me for this?
I had an incredible writing stimulus. I was like, oh my God, these are such a good idea.
Yay! Okay. Have you got any more?
I've got an idea for the next one, but
The Toxic Hazard.
yeah.
Go on, give me it.
Okay, so I couldn't find this into a pitch, but Toxic Hazard to me sounded like a woman who disposed of the bodies of husbands that their wives had killed.
Oh my God, that's so
like
good.
abusive husbands. So she would then dispose of them, and they would like
As like a service.
yeah,
for women.
yeah.
I
If
would
you kill your husband, I'll get rid of the body
watch
for
that
it.
show.
And I thought it maybe turns up in some Toxic Hazard turns up in a nature reserve, and it all like
unfolds.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's so exciting. You are
yeah.
genius.
But these feel like TV shows to me, right? Trashy TV shows.
I would watch all of those. They sound brilliant. Right, I've got two more. Do you want to give them a go?
I'll try, but I haven't thought about it.
Okay, we'll see. So one is no junk mail. This is my lame attempt at trying. The first thing that came to my mind was like a serial killer postman.
Nice.
Yeah, that's like, I don't know, delivering, like he's cutting up his victims and then delivering their body parts to like people.
Excellent.
Am I right?
I love that. I love that.
And then no ball games, I can think it's kind of sounding like porn to me.
Yeah, well, I thought junk mail sounded like porn.
Oh, really?
I was like, that's somebody just sticking their willy through it and people's clothes. I can find a story in it. I was like, but yeah, it's funny. No ball game. Yeah, I think that sounded to me like people that fell in love on the football pitch. There was, something like Bend It Like Beckham, but with a twist sort of thing. What an excellent movie, by the way.
A really good story of like two men falling in love from football teams, and obviously we know that the sport of football isn't very, it's still pretty homophobic, and they've got to like hide their love story or something
from rival football teams as well.
Ooh, guys, we're going to put these in production. We've got some amazing ideas. Emma, thank you so much for coming.
Oh, thank you for having me.
It's been so much fun. Just remind everybody quickly, where can we see Slippery When Wet and when?
Slippery When Wet at Barons Court Theatre from the 22nd of August to the 2nd of September, or at Dublin Fringe the second week of September at the Pearson Centre.
As I said, guys, it will all be linked down below. Bye. Lads, that's all for this week. I really hope you enjoyed the episode. I absolutely loved filming it. The game that me and Emma played at the end was so funny. But yeah, Emma is a dream. She's so lovely, really, really talented. And I can't wait. The play is on before they take it to Dublin Fringe. It's actually on in London, so I'm going to go and watch it. I can't wait. You guys should go and watch it too. All the details and tickets will be linked down below. Also, go and follow Emma on her social media. I will put it on the screen and also link it down below. Follow myself, of course, on social media. It's Plastic Paddy's Podcast on all socials. What else? Please subscribe to the YouTube channel, please. It really, really helps me out, so please go and do that. And yeah, that was all for this week, lads, and it's the last installment of my mini-series, so stay tuned, because next time you see me, I think I'm going to do like just introduction to myself a little bit, just like get to know me video, and I'm going to spin the wheel to find out what my next topic of like Irish stuff is going to be about. So yeah, stay tuned for all that, and I will speak to you soon. Bye.